Action RPGs are easy to lose yourself in for hours, but they suffer from one major drawback. They take too much concentration. This is why, when I'm sitting on the bus or watching soaps, yes, don't judge me, there's nothing better than turn-based combat. That's where Honkai Star Rail comes in. In fact, this cross-platform game is so accessible, you can play it with 2 broken fingers. Don't ask me how I know that. Honkai Star Rail is an absolute spectacle both in and out of combat thanks to its dazzling environments and beautiful 3D models that faithfully replicate the dynamic anime style, and version 2.2 shows that off to its fullest. Seriously, just look at this. The animations and effects are so grand, so fantastic, that they even surpass the spectacle of many action combat games. And it's not all just flashy graphics. HSR has lovable characters, clever dialogue, and an immersive story to match. I've been waiting for a chance to gush about the characters in this game, so huge shout out to Hoyoverse for sponsoring this video. Honkai Star Rail keeps things fresh through its settings. I don't want to spoil anything for those who haven't played it, but what I will say is that the game starts very strong and what happens definitely caught me by surprise. But there's a lot more to see than this space station you start out on, as beautiful as it is. Since HSR has been out for about a year, you won't just explore a vast world, you'll explore a bunch of them. These locales are more than just a pretty coat of paint. They're bursting with character and have good storylines that are well integrated into the location and its people. Each place is brought to life with the sheer amount of NPCs there are to interact with, and you know how I feel about those. For a game that's technically not open world, I was surprised at how vast and engaging the zones were, an especially impressive feat considering it can run on mobile devices. If you're a fan of snow levels, Bellabog is made for you. The harsh but beautiful frozen wilderness is balanced wonderfully with the cozy houses glowing with warm hearths and cobblestone streets. Though, I did find myself concerned about Clara's lack of shoes. But if you're like me and you prefer an extravagant city that never sleeps, Penacony is where it's at. It's exciting and glamorous, but between the glittering lights you can feel the threads of its dark underbelly. Most importantly, all the best characters show up during this part of the story. Acheron, Boothill, and my beloved Robin included, and Sparkle. I would do anything for Sparkle.
You belong to the space under the manhole cover. There's one right over there. Off you go.
Acheron demonstrates the beauty of combat in this game with her sleek samurai moves. Okay, I'll admit it, I'm a sucker for cold-blooded, white-haired anime characters, and that describes Acheron at least some of the time. By using a technique point, she can one-shot certain enemies on the overworld without having to engage in combat at all, which is why I love her. And that brings us to the newest character, Robin, a physical-type character on the path of harmony. I'm not usually a fan of sweet and kind-looking characters, but there's something special about Robin. It might be the little wings. Every part of her design drips elegance that is bold but not ostentatious. Just looking at her is enough to inspire me to fight my best, and the same goes for the team as she can grant them a crit damage boost. Seriously, her darling attack animations might be my favorite in the entire game. That's pretty impressive since she's not even a white-haired anime girl. Supportive songstress characters are one of my favorite RPG tropes, and with the way her song surrounds the battlefield, this is one of the best executed examples of that archetype I've seen. As much of a fan I am of Acheron and Sparkle, it was Robin's siren song that brought me back to HSR, and she does not disappoint. Speaking of characters I theoretically shouldn't like, but actually love, I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. I'm not a cowboy person. But nobody told me cowboys could be edgy cyborgs who do axe kicks with spurs that turn into buzzsaws. Nothing prepared me for Boothill. He's dripping with over-the-top drama as he saunters down the Penacony halls, his spurs jingling in a way that is both funny but also undeniably threatening. During his ultimate, he'll catch a wanted poster that's floating by and it will actually have the face of the enemy he's fighting on it. And that wild attention to detail is exactly what I love about this game. He's a physical type character on the path of the hunt, and he's also perfect. I may have come back to HSR for Robin, but now I'm staying for Boothill. Did I mention he has bullet earrings? But it's not all about shiny new characters. In version 2.2, you can obtain the imaginary type Trailblazer on the Path of Harmony. Or in other words, a powerful addition to your lineup that's completely free. Yes, HSR's main character gets a glow up. He or she can trade out the bat for a hat and a lot of cash, and honestly, who wouldn't? In my opinion, lead protagonists should always remain powerful, even in games where you collect a large ensemble of characters. Doing so incentivizes you to keep them in your party, and as a result, you, the player, can connect with them better. If the gameplay tells you that they're weak, it conflicts with how important they are to the story, right? So I'm really glad to see HSR making sure Trailblazer stays relevant. It's great for all players, both for their roster and for their immersion. But if you want to know what else makes Robin, Boothill, and the new version of Trailblazer so amazing, you'll have to play through version 2.2 story yourself. And honestly, you should, because I am not going to spoil it. But if you like the ambiance of the scenery, the flashy turn-based combat, and the sweet or sassy characters, I'm pretty confident you'll enjoy the latest story as well. And if you've gotten this far into the video and don't trust me for some reason, well, maybe you'll believe everyone else. Honkai Star Rail won Best Game of the Year 2023 on Google Play and App Store, as well as the Best Mobile Game at the Game Awards 2023. The lovely Robin is already available to acquire in-game, and Boothill's banner will follow hers starting May 29th. I can't even decide which one I'm more excited for anymore, which is crazy because never would I think I'd love both a cutesy idol and a cyborg cowboy so much. What has this game done to me? Last but not least, the freebies. Log in for 7 days to receive 10 Star Rail special passes, which you can use to pull characters like Robin and Boothill, or maybe one of the other 40 characters in the game. I also have a redemption code for 50 free Stellar Jade, which you can find on screen and in the pinned comment below. Check it out to nab that code, as well as the download link to play Honkai Star Rail yourself.